Bonjour à tous, hello everyone, and welcome to Apprenons Ensemble. French for Beginners, Pronunciation Class, Lesson 8. French Liaison, Mandatory French Liaison. Liaison française obligatoire. There are 5 main cases of mandatory French liaisons. Not only are they mandatory by rule, but also everybody in the French-speaking world is likely to make them. It will sound really bad if you did not make a liaison there. How do you pronounce French liaisons? Comment prononcez-vous les liaisons françaises? So when the first word ends with S, X, or Z, it will create an abstract letter Z at the beginning of the second word. So let's see some examples. So here it ends, the first word ends with S, and the second one starts with a vowel. So here we have a liaison. And what we said in the class for the liaison, we said there should be no pause or no break between both the pronunciation of both words. So les amis, les, then the abstract Z, and amis, les amis, les amis. 6 ans, 6 ans. Chez eux, chez eux. Number 2, when the first word ends with T and D, so it will create an abstract T at the beginning of the second word. So let's see some examples. Il est intelligent. Il est intelligent. Il est intelligent. Okay. Another example. So here we have D, the silent D, and then we have for the beginning of the second word we have H, which is the silent H. So the liaison won't be between the D and the H, but instead between D and the vowel coming after H. So in this case, it will be O. So let's see. Un grand homme. Un grand homme. Third one, when the first word ends with N, it will create an abstract N at the beginning of the second word. Un ami. Un ami. Un ami. On a. On a. Fourth one, when the first word ends with R, it will create an abstract R at the beginning of the second word. So, un léger incident. Okay, here, normally when you have ER, we need to read A. But because of the liaison coming after, that the pronunciation of the E is going to change. So we are not going to pronounce A, but E. So listen, if I'm reading this word alone, so léger, léger. So you see here, it's A. But now let's read it with the liaison, léger incident, léger incident. So you see here, the A pronunciation changes to E. Léger incident, léger incident. Un léger incident, un léger incident. Fifth one, when the first word ends with P, it will create an abstract P at the beginning of the second word. Okay? Beaucoup aimé. Beaucoup aimé. Please, you can take your time and go through this table again and make sure that you are getting it properly. So, let's see the 5 different mandatory pronunciation liaison. So, there will be a liaison between a pronoun and a verb. Okay? Pronoun plus verb. This very common case is more straightforward. We use it mostly with subject pronouns that end with a consonant. So we have on, which is the casual we. Then we have nous, vous, il plural, and elle plural. So let's see some examples. So here, I'm not going to pronounce the liaison for the moment, okay? On est au cinéma. On est au cinéma. Nous avons faim. Nous avons faim. Vous êtes gentil. Vous êtes gentil. Ils ont des jouets. Ils ont des jouets. Elle aime la neige. Elle aime la neige. So you can pause the video and try to find out where will be the liaison and how to pronounce each one. Okay? So you can pause it and try yourself before you continue the video. Okay. So here this is the pronoun subject and then this is the verb. Okay? So we said when the first word end with N, so it will create an abstract N at the beginning of the second word. Okay, so in the case of EST, we are not creating the liaison between N and E, because here this is EST is a monosyllabic word. Okay, so a one syllable word. So we are going to create the liaison between N and that monosyllabic word. Okay, so let's see how to read it. On est. Okay, so in the class of the liaison, we see that there should be no pause between the first word and the second word. So if you do have some problem with the liaison rule, please check on the top right corner of your screen. You will see a link to go and watch that video. So let's read it again. On est au cinéma. On est au cinéma. Second one, we have the first word end with S and the second word starts with A. So we say when the first word ends with a silent S, it will create an abstract letter Z at the beginning of the second word. Nous avons faim. Nous avons faim. Nous avons faim. Third one, the first word ends with a letter silent S, so it will create an abstract letter Z at the beginning of the second word. Vous êtes gentil. Vous êtes gentil. Fourth one, silent S at the end of the first word, so it will create an abstract letter Z at the beginning of the second one. Ils ont des jouets. Ils ont des jouets. Ils ont des jouets. Fifth one, so again, silent S at the end of the first word, so it will create an abstract Z at the beginning of the second word. Okay, so here we are not making the liaison with A only, because here we have a sound. AI is a sound, so we are going to create the liaison with the first syllable of the second word. So, elles aiment la neige. Elles aiment la neige. So, a pronoun before a verb can also be a complement sometimes. The personal complement pronouns that end with a consonant are nous, vous, and les. So if you are not getting what is a complement, please check on the top right corner of your screen, so you'll be able to understand the COD and COI pronoun. Okay, so here we are not talking about the pronoun subject, but sometimes we have something that we call the pronoun, the direct pronoun and the indirect pronoun. Okay, so when you are replacing the object with the pronoun, then we are placing that pronoun between the subject and the verb. Okay, so please go and watch the video about the pronoun COD and COI if you do have some problem. So here are some examples. So here in the sentence, tu is the subject and nous is the pronoun complement. Okay, so here what do we have? We have nous ending with the silent S and the next word starting with A. Okay, so I'm not going to read the liaison for the moment. So tu nous attends. Tu nous attends. Second example. Il vous interroge. Il vous interroge. Third one. Nous les aimons. Nous les aimons. So you can pause the video, okay, and try to find out the liaison and find how we are going to pronounce them. Okay, so you can pause it, try yourself, and then come back and continue the video. So here, there will be a liaison between the complement pronoun and the verb. Okay, so the complement pronoun ends with S, a silent S. So it will create an abstract Z at the beginning of the second word. So in our case, which is a verb. So, tu nous attends. Tu nous attends. An example, we have the pronoun complement ending with a S, a silent S. So it will create an abstract Z at the beginning of the second word. So here, in the first case, we did the liaison between the S and A. Here, because the first syllable of the second word is A. But in the second example, the first syllable is IN. So I won't create the abstract the liaison between the S and I only, because IN is a syllable. So we are going to create the liaison between the abstract Z and the first syllable of the second word. Okay, so let's see how to read it. Il vous interroge. Il vous interroge. Third one. So here we have the silent S. So we are going to create an abstract Z at the beginning of the second word. Okay, here, and the second word also, first syllable is AI. Okay, so nous les aimons. Nous les aimons. Nous les aimons. Okay. Second point, between an article and a noun. Between articles and noun. Entre les articles et les noms. Entre les articles et les noms. Articles are everywhere in French. This is the most common cases for la liaison in everyday spoken French. Here, we will focus on those that end with a consonant. Okay? So for the articles ending with a consonant, we have UN, DES, so de, le, o. So here are some examples. So I'm not going to pronounce the liaison for the moment. Un enfant. Un enfant. Des arbres. Des arbres. Les amis. Les amis. Aux étudiants. Aux étudiants. So you can pause the video trying to find out the liaisons and get their convenient pronunciation. Okay? So here the article ends with the final silent N. So it will create an abstract N at the beginning of the second word. And the second word first syllable is EN. So the liaison will be between N of the first word and EN of the second word. Un enfant. Un enfant. The second example, we have a silent S at the end of the first word, and the first syllable of the second word will be AR. So they will create an abstract Z at the beginning of the second word. Des arbres. Des arbres. Third one, we have a silent S at the end of the first word and A at the beginning of the second word. So it will create an abstract Z. Les amis. Les amis. Fourth one, we have X at the end of the first word. So it will create an abstract Z at the beginning of the second word. So, aux étudiants. aux étudiants. So, between numbers and noun. Nombre plus nom. So French numbers are tricky because on top of learning them, the pronunciation is going to change depending on the word that follows. Okay, so here I suggest you please to go and watch the video about the French numbers. So on the top right corner of this video, you will have a link. So please, you can pause the video and go practice the numbers. Then you can come and continue this video. So let's see some examples. 3 oiseaux. 3 oiseaux. 38 euros. 38 euros. So you can pause the video, find out the liaison, and get the pronunciation. Then you can come and see the result. So here 3 ends with a silent S, so it will create an abstract Z at the beginning of the second word. And the second word, first syllable, is OI. So it will create the liaison between the S and OI. 3 oiseaux. 3 oiseaux. Okay, here we have a silent T at the end of the first word, and so it will create an abstract T at the beginning of the second word. And here the first syllable of the second word is EU, so E. Okay, so let's see how to pronounce 38 euros. 38 euros. 38 euros. Between adjectives and nouns. Between adjectives and nouns. Entre les adjectifs et les noms. Entre adjectifs et noms. So there are many different kinds of adjectives in French. Many are little words that pilot nouns just like an article would. Since they are closely associated with the noun they modify, it is only logical the ones that end with a silent consonant will start a liaison. Okay, so it's the case for adjective possessive. Okay, so mon, ton, son, mes, tes, ses, nos, vos, leurs. So possessive adjective. Second point, it will be the case, same case with the demonstrative adjectives, CES. The interrogative adjectives, quel, quel. The indefinite adjectives, aucun, tout, quelque. And the normal adjectives, petit, grand, ancien, which are nothing but modifiers. Okay, and etc. So anyway, for this case, it's not only for these three, but any adjective ending with a silent T. Okay, here are some examples. So I'm not going to read the liaison for the moment. Mon ami. Mon ami. C'est affaire. C'est affaire. Ton avis. Ton avis. Un grand aéroport. Un grand aéroport. Son auto. Son auto. Un petit avion. Un petit avion. Mes enfants. Quelques-uns. Quelle école? Ces animaux. Nos écoles. Aucun homme. Vos erreurs. Quel avion? Leur amour. Tout entier. So you can pause the video, find out where will be the liaison and how to pronounce each one. Okay? Then after you can come back and see the result. Okay, so here the first word will be ending with silent N, and the second one starting with A, so we create an abstract N. Okay, so I'll just pronounce each one and And if you still have a doubt, please, you can put in a comment where is your doubt, and I'll be glad to answer your question. Mon ami, mon ami. Ses affaires, ses affaires. Ton avis, ton avis. Un grand aéroport, un grand aéroport. Son auto, son auto. Un petit avion, un petit avion. Mes enfants, mes enfants. Quelques-uns, quelques-uns. Quelles écoles, quelles écoles. Ces animaux, ces animaux. Nos écoles, nos écoles. Aucun homme, aucun homme. Vos erreurs, vos erreurs. Quels avions, quels avions. Leurs amours, leurs amours. Tout entier, tout entier. After many prepositions and trait, followed by a noun. Okay, between a preposition and a noun, and also trait and a noun. So, après de nombreuses prépositions et traits. Liaisons are also mandatory in French after short monosyllabic, or if you want, one syllable French prepositions. So, in the case we have dans, en, sans, chez, sous, and many more. So, any monosyllabic preposition followed by a noun, then there will be a liaison. But also, we also have a liaison after trait, followed by a noun. Okay, followed by the next word. So the next word starting with a vowel. So trait and another word starting with a vowel, or any monosyllabic preposition followed by another word starting with a vowel. So let's see some examples. So I'm not going to pronounce the liaison. Dans un appartement. Dans un appartement. Chez elle. Chez elle. En Allemagne. En Allemagne. Sous une voiture. Sous une voiture. C'est très intéressant. C'est très intéressant. Sans argent. Sans argent. So you can pause the video, try to find out the liaisons and their pronunciation. Okay, so this example is a very good one because here it will show you that it's not because we have one liaison here that we cannot have a liaison with the next word. Yes. Okay. So what is the liaison? What we say about liaison? Two consecutive words. The first one ending with a silent consonant, and the second one starting with a vowel. So this is the case here. So the first word ends with a silent S, and the second one starts with a vowel. So here there will be a liaison. Okay. Here again for UN, we have N, which is the silent N, and the next word start with a vowel. So also there will be another liaison here. So let's see how to pronounce, how to read this one. Dans un appartement. Dans un appartement. So D, S will create a abstract Z at the beginning of the second word, and N will create an abstract N at the beginning of the second word. One more time. Dans un appartement. Dans un appartement. Next example. Chez elle. Chez elle. Third one. En Allemagne. En Allemagne. Fourth one. Sous une voiture. Sous une voiture. Fifth one, c'est très intéressant. C'est très intéressant. Sixth one, sans argent. Sans argent. Built-in expressions and composed words. Expression et mots composés. So on top of these 5 rules of mandatory liaisons in French, there are many cases when there is a liaison that cannot really be explained. You will often see a liaison with words that are closely linked in meaning. A natural liaison may also have developed in words that were difficult to pronounce together. So let's see some examples. So I'm not going to read the liaisons for the moment. Les, état, uni. Peut être. Avant, hier. C'est, à, dire. De, temps, en, temps. Plus ou moins. Tout, à, tout. Tout, à, l'heure. Comment allez-vous? Quand est-ce que tu viens? Quand est-ce que tu viens? So you can pause the video again and try your best to find out all the liaisons and their pronunciation. So I'm just going to read the liaison. Just going to read the words. But if you do have any comment, please, you can drop it in the comment sections and I will answer all your doubts. Les États-Unis. Les États-Unis. Peut-être. Peut-être. Avant-hier. Avant-hier. C'est-à-dire. C'est-à-dire. De temps en temps. De temps en temps. Plus ou moins. Plus ou moins. Tout à coup. Tout à coup. Tout à l'heure. Tout à l'heure. Comment allez-vous? Comment allez-vous? Quand est-ce que tu viens? Quand est-ce que tu viens? Okay? Please, you can go through the liaisons if you do have some doubts, and please, you can drop a comment in the section if you need more explanation. So this is it for today's class. Thank you for watching and see you soon for another video. Merci. Au revoir.